no vea, a Sevilla. Y al último que cuando ya salió la bien de regla.
It is Saturday on Raid Shadow Legends, but you knew that. Now, today is exactly what you had thought it was going to be. It is the 2x on Ancient and the 10x on Vulkanos Fumor. So, first off, what we're going to do is a bit of a analysis on what exactly we're going to be pulling for. So if you're not interested in that, then just skip ahead to the time frame that I'm going to put on screen. And there you go, that's when I start cracking open Ancients. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to go over him first. So he's the 9th faction unity in the game. They're doing them all in order. And he looks very fancy, I will not lie. They have done a great job here with this skin. But in terms of actual champion itself, how good of a job have they done there? So we're going to go through this in order. So first off is A1. Now you can read for the most part, but this skill can scale up to double damage, and with a counter attack, this can add up in damage quite a lot. And this has a base multiplier of 3x defense, so it will go up to, actually no, it's 3.5x defense. So this will go up to a 7x defense skill, which he'll counterattack with every time enemy under HP burn does anything at all, unless it is something where they just self buff or whatever, which is also going to be Hydra. Now, I will say this right away, he is a Hydra champ more than anything else, mainly because I'm not really sure where else in the game he fits. Second skill is, this one's kind of weak, honestly, and I think overall you're going to be disabling this because it's just better to use the A1, and this fear debuff isn't going to do a whole lot. Now this has a damage multiplier of 3.6x defense, so yeah, not great. And now on to the skills that have faction unity effects. So, actually, I'll be honest, I don't know why this guy even is a faction unity. He could have worked fine just as a regular standalone legendary, but I suppose we had to do something, and after Legate Teox, they tried to bring up our level down a bit again, and yeah. So, again, this can stack up to 100% extra amp, and when this has a base damage of 3x defense per hit, this is up to 12x defense, which again is pretty strong. And other effects are, you mainly want this one here to actually faction allies, because if you have someone who places HP burns or detonates them, it's probably going to give him back the entire skill, even though it doesn't have 4-turn cooldown. This part is okay, but it's not really relevant in other places where we're going to be using him. And then on to the passive. Now the passive is the only way that this champion can actually place HP burns, despite being relatively reliant on them, as you could tell from everything else. But even then, this only goes up to a 70%. I don't know why. I don't know how this would have been broken if it was 100, but whatever. And sure, this means he never needs accuracy if we're just ignoring this skill because it's not that great. This gives him... So this is why on him you don't need lethal, savage, etc. You don't need crushing rend. With here, you just want to put him in as much damage as possible in terms of defense, crit damage, speed, etc. So things like Zeal set are great on him. Otherwise, if you just have anything that's really good with all 4 optimized stats, so you know, crit damage, defense, speed, then put those on him. He doesn't need crushing rend or anything else of the sort. And again, this third one is not really relevant because you can't block revive Hydra, and if you block revive a dungeon boss, then sure, you would anyway, so yeah. So if we're thinking about 2 faction allies for him, who are the best two that we can have? So I think overall, all things considered, the best two for him would be Sicia Flametongue, because not only does she put HP burn on everyone for 3 turns, which helps with his A3 damage, but she can also detonate them, which will more often than not reset the cooldown of his A3. And then after that, I would say Authoritrix Lamasu, even though most people don't have her yet. In all fairness, a lot of people aren't going to have Vulkanos for a while either, so. And actually, let me move back against and not obscuring her stats. Because she has some very good effects for Hydra in terms of block buffs, decreased speeds, decreased attack, etc. And just a very good overall round support, which is just well because, support's a really weak role, so that doesn't have many good champions. And I would say if you're using Sicia and Lamasu, who has an AoE A1, then if you do have them, then put Incardial in the team, because he works very well with Sicia, guaranteed ally attacks to keep your team alive. Got these for ally attacks, again, because all 3 of them have very good A1s, and just this so that you don't die. And if you have 9-piece protection for him, then yeah, put that on him. I do, and it serves me very well as far as getting a Cardiel goes. So that's basically that. You will obviously need someone who supplies increased defense for the team, since otherwise you don't have it, he doesn't supply it himself. So someone like Mithril is good for that. Otherwise, if you have someone like Bellatar Mage Slayer, then yeah. Now, I know, yeah, he's a Void Legendary, but I think most people will agree with me when they say that they have plenty of Void Legendaries, apart from really good ones. Unless you're someone in particular, which in that case, yeah. So that is the review part of the video done in terms of what Vulkanos Fumor has, and now is the part where we start cracking open shards. Now, before we open a single shard, we're going to go through the reality check. 1% chance of legendary, and there are so many legendaries in the game at this point that a 10x on a single one puts him realistically only at about a 4% chance of getting him if you get any legendary at all. Now, I know 4% is better than 0.4%, and if you want him, then yeah. Here's the thing. If I get him, am I going to use him? I'm not actually sure. So, why am I going for him? Because the answer is I really don't care too much about Ancient Shards anymore, and we might as well just convert them to whatever resources we're going to get from his champion chase when it loads. And done a bit so far. Someone has already gone a bit far, so I'm guessing they got him already and they're pretty serious about getting a 5-star. But apart from that, we're going to just get these bits and whatnot, because as I said, we do have a new mythical that we got yesterday, so we're able to book them at some point, and yeah. So yeah, I've been holding you off for a while now, haven't I? See, that's why I put the timestamp where it's going to be now, as opposed to before. Anyway, waste enough of your time. Double check in case they've altered numbers while I wasn't looking, and good luck to me, right? Right? I mean, you either want me to get nothing, or you want me to get like 10 legendaries and freak out or something, but it's one or the other. So, right, let's get started. See what happens. What I am going to do is, in terms of the reserve vault, I will just... That's a good start, isn't it? In terms of reserve vault, I'll just put everything in there because I can't be bothered leveling it up for the time being. I thought for a moment there that we were going to... oh, this is a bit large, isn't it? Okay, there we go. Thought we were going to get Pity Broken on Epic during 2x Ancients, which would be a bit sad now, wouldn't it? Yeah, everything we get, I'll just put it in for reserve vault. They gave us 200 slots, and yeah. Alright, so 30 Ancients, 2 Epic so far, which is setting a great... Okay. Then Skull Reap. Oh, another one. Oh, he's new. Well then, okay. Sure. Two legendaries. Let's see. Quick brief review of them. First one, Danak Skullreap. Hates elves. Really hates elves. He's angry about elves. Also does okay damage, and he's good early on, I guess. And then there is Cowliite the Isalite. I don't know how to pronounce this for Ash Arrow. He was printed as the Armand's counter because Armand tries to A3. He loses turn meter, but this proc debuff happens before he gets stunned, and then he takes an extra turn. Of course, Armand can just A3 him if he's that much of an issue, and he loses that way, but they gave it a go. As for his actual damage, I think it's okay-ish, but yeah. Anyway, two legendaries. Better than two rares, right? Let's keep going. Oh, another one! Oh, we got him! There we go! See? 4% chance is sometimes higher than 4%. And I was complaining for 5 seconds about I was only getting rares. Okay. 3 legendaries and 10 shards. Right, let's keep going, shall we? See what else we can get. Okay. After all, I did say I was going for 10k, right? So, right. Okay, so now all we need is a Thoratrix lamasu and whatever coherent gear we have to put on Vulkanos. Right. Obviously, some of these epics I will use for empowering if I get any that are relevant in that regard. But, yep. Unironically, my mood now is in a bit better than it was about 5 minutes ago, because I've actually got a couple new things to play with. Alright, okay. I'll run out of space at some point, and I'll just, like I said, put everything in reserve vault, work from there. Getting above average epics as well, so. Okay. Yep, see, okay. Alright. Reserve vault. You go here, you go here, you go here. I'll keep all the epics there for reference, but you all go here. I'll select you out another time. I'll double check if any of these rares or anything I've got a $6 soul for, but I highly doubt it. Right, there you go, there's reserve vault. Let's check how far we in are through the champion chase, because we're stopping at 10,000 because I have better things to do than chase up someone who's going far further than that. 7,500, I believe. Okay, so let's try and keep tabs on this then. Right, let's keep going some more. So if it's 2,500, then okay. Alright, extend, so that's 340. Another 340. About 1,800 to go. Worst comes to worst, I can always open a few mysteries or something. 580, okay, 1,000, about 200 to go, I'd say. Sure, if you're going to be serious like that, then I mean, I can't complain about getting a 10 rare now, can I, after getting above rate on that? Okay, don't do it twice, but I didn't authorize that. So petty, isn't it? Okay, right. Huh? What's happening? Swings and roundabouts. We went 30 ancients on 2x and didn't get an epic. That is interesting. Of course I get more then. Okay. Okay, then that's that. So double check about the mythical book. No, I'm not. How far am I off? I am 60 off. Okay, then I'll just open some mysteries to round out the last part of it. So yeah, we now have a. Also, was that our first Danag or our second? Let's check. That's our first one. Okay. So we have him now. I mean, looks very fancy, and sure I'll get something to work with at some point. And yeah. So if you're hoping I got him, then hey, we got him, didn't we? We got him. If you're hoping I didn't get anything, then ha! That's what we get for spite. Anyway, yeah. We're done, so if you watched, if you didn't, then of course you watched. What am I saying? So we're done, so let's see you all next time, and I'll think of something to do for tomorrow, shall I? Until then, see ya.